What if I told you that your own brain is being hacked to keep you broke? Seriously, and not by some shadowy figure, but by an old, outdated piece of software that was installed in your mind when you were a kid. You think you're in control of your financial decisions, but you're actually running on an operating system from decades ago, a hidden code that is quietly controlling every single dollar you earn, save, and spend. This isn't about working harder or wanting it more. This is about programming, and today we are going to crack that code together.
So let me ask you a question, and be honest with yourself. Do you ever feel like you're just not in the driver's seat of your financial life? You know, like you're putting in the hours, you're trying to do the right thing, but the needle just isn't moving. That feeling? That's your financial autopilot. And right now, it's being guided by a set of rules you never even agreed to.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter, a concept that psychologists call money scripts. Think of these as the fundamental lines of code that were written into your brain when you were young, just by watching how your family and the world around you handled money. And whether you realize it or not, that old, outdated software is running pretty much your entire financial life today.
Alright, so if we're ever going to break free from this, we have to start by understanding how this financial operating system of yours actually works. So let's pop the hood and take a look at what's really going on in there.
Okay, one of the best ways to think about this is what I call the wealth thermostat. Your brain has a financial set point, right? A comfort zone. So let's say your internal identity is that of someone who makes $50,000 a year. Well, what happens when you get a big raise and start making $70,000? Your subconscious mind literally panics. It'll find creative ways to get rid of that extra $20,000, maybe a sudden urgent need for a new car or an impulse vacation you can't afford, just to get you back to what feels normal. You see, it's not a math problem, it's an identity problem.
So to actually change your financial identity, you first have to figure out which specific script you're running on. Researchers have identified 4 main types. Now, as I go through these, I really want you to listen closely and be honest with yourself. See which one feels a little too familiar. First up, we have money avoidance. This is the script that tells you money is bad. It's the root of all evil, that rich people are greedy and corrupt, and that there's some kind of virtue in struggling. If you're running this code, you'll actually subconsciously sabotage your own success, turn down promotions, mess up interviews, all to avoid becoming one of those people you've been taught to look down on.
Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you've got money worship. This is the belief that more money is the magic bullet that will fix everything in your life. It's the key to happiness. But this script just traps you on a hamster wheel of working more, earning more, and spending more, always chasing a feeling of satisfaction that never actually arrives. It's a recipe for burnout and debt.
Third, and this is a big one in our social media age, is money status. The core belief here is simple, and it's brutal. Your self-worth is equal to your net worth. This drives that constant, nagging need to have the latest phone, the fanciest car, the designer clothes, not because you enjoy them, but because you need to show the world that you've made it. It's all about external validation.
And finally, there's money vigilance. Now, on the surface, this one sounds like the good one, right? These are the super savers, the detail-oriented budgeters, the people who are always prepared. But when it's taken to an extreme, this vigilance can turn into a prison of chronic anxiety, where the fear of losing money is so great that you can never actually use it to enjoy the secure life you've built.
And look, the research on this is crystal clear. The first 3 scripts, avoidance, worship, and status, are all directly linked to lower net worth, lower income, and way more debt. Money vigilance is the only one that's consistently tied to better financial outcomes, even though it can come with its own set of anxieties. The takeaway here is undeniable. What you secretly believe about money has a direct, measurable impact on the numbers in your bank account.
But here's the thing. Understanding your own internal programming, that's only half the battle. Because in the world we live in today, there are incredibly powerful external forces that are designed for one purpose: to find the weak spots in your money script and exploit them for profit. Welcome to the algorithmic persuasion trap.
Now, this goes way beyond just seeing a simple advertisement. Algorithmic persuasion is the science of building digital platforms, your social media feeds, your online stores, your apps, with very specific psychological triggers baked right in. Their goal is to completely bypass your rational thinking mind and talk directly to your most primitive, impulsive instincts to get you to just click buy without thinking. And the tools they use, oh, you know these. You see them every single day. It's the "only 2 left in stock" alert that triggers your fear of missing out. It's that countdown timer on a flash sale that creates this false sense of urgency. It's the buy now, pay later option that completely numbs the pain of spending.
Every single one is a carefully designed weapon to close the gap between I want it and I bought it.
And here is where it gets really, really cruel. When you are already stressed out about money, your brain is operating under something scientists call a bandwidth tax. Okay, put simply, imagine your brain's processing power is like a computer's RAM. Just worrying about paying your bills uses up most of that RAM. This leaves you with very little mental energy for things like critical thinking and impulse control, which makes you incredibly vulnerable to those exact digital triggers. It's a vicious, self-perpetuating cycle.
So, just as we're starting to get a grip on our own internal psychology and these external algorithms, the entire economic ground beneath our feet is starting to shift in a massive way. We have to talk about the future that is being built right now by artificial intelligence.
This brings us to a really critical and, frankly, kind of dangerous idea called the Turing trap. See, for a long time, the promise of technology was augmentation, making humans better, faster, stronger at their jobs. Think of it like giving a carpenter a power saw. The carpenter is still essential, but the trap we're falling into now is a focus on AI as automation. The goal is no longer to help the human worker, but to replace them completely.
And let's be perfectly clear about this. When a human's job is automated by AI, the salary for that job doesn't just disappear into thin air. No, it gets rerouted. It flows directly upwards into the pockets of the people and the companies who own and control the AI. This isn't just a tech upgrade. It's one of the biggest structural wealth transfers in modern history, and it's happening right now. So what does this create? It creates a brand new economic environment that some researchers are calling strategic wealth accumulation. Honestly, you can think of it like a Hunger Games for your savings account. People who see this shift coming are saving money with an incredible intensity, not just for retirement, but to buy a stake, to own a piece of the future AI-driven economy. It's an all-out race to own a piece of tomorrow's pie.
And this isn't some far-off sci-fi prediction. This intense competition is already happening, and it's starting to warp our financial markets in strange ways. Economic models are showing that this strategic race for a slice of the future is pushing real interest rates towards a mind-boggling 10 to 16%.
This chart right here shows you this bizarre new reality perfectly. Let's just walk through it. Look at the graph on the top left. That orange line, that's the real productive return on capital in the economy. See how it's kind of falling? Okay, now look at the graph on the top right. Whoa, that's the interest rate, and it's soaring. That huge gap between the two is what economists are calling the wedge. It represents the insane premium that people are willing to pay by accepting lower returns today for a chance to own a piece of the AI-powered world of tomorrow.
Okay, I know, that was a lot to take in. You've got your internal money script, you've got external algorithms trying to hack it, and you've got this massive economic earthquake happening all at the same time. It can feel overwhelming, but here is the good news. You cannot beat a system you don't understand, and now you understand it. So let's talk about how we fight back.
It all comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. Money follows behavior, and behavior follows belief. Trying to change your spending habits without changing your core beliefs about money is like pulling the tops off of weeds but leaving the roots in the ground. They're just going to grow right back. Real, permanent change only happens when you go deeper and rewrite that foundational script.
So what's the path forward from here? How do you get back in the driver's seat? Well, gaining real financial agency in this new world really comes down to 3 critical steps. First, you have to look inward. Do the hard work and identify your dominant money script. Second, you have to look outward. Train yourself to spot the digital triggers in your environment that are designed to manipulate you. And third, you have to look forward. Understand the new economic game that's being played, so you can position yourself to win.
We've just pulled back the curtain on the hidden operating system that's been running your life. You can now see the internal code that was written in your past, and you can see the external code that's being used against you in the present. And here's the thing, once you see the matrix, you can't unsee it. So the only question that really matters now is this. Now that you can read the code, how are you going to rewrite it?
Thank you for spending time with us here at the Violet Vault. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay focused and keep growing.